It's Friday, the 19th of October 2018, approximately 9 p.m. East African time. A very good evening to you on the eve of Mashujaa Day 2018. We're indeed delighted that you're keeping us company. I am Ondiro Ganga, ready to bring you up to speed with all the news creating waves across the globe. As you know, we're all about business, and here is a glance of all the news-making headlines in the business world. First AFECN International Conference on Early Childhood Development. I stand for the children.
Banking is also at the core of payments at the national and international level, where you facilitate flow of funds from one entity to another.
Second annual CCG Alumni Network Summit. Implement, implement, implement. The call to action as conference ends.
So that we have a platform where travel agents, tour operators, tourism stakeholders can come together and network.
Africa Tourism and Travel Fair. A class traveler. Yes, please. As the curtains fell on the first Africa Early Childhood Network International Conference on Early Childhood Development, a joint communique which provides opportunities to lobby all states and non-state actors and decision makers in Kenya to prioritize early childhood development as a critical sector and of national importance was endorsed. Our field team was present and brings us the deliberations that were reached.
In her closing remarks, Leila Pakala, UNICEF Regional Director for Eastern and Southern Africa, started by lauding the government of Kenya for its commitment to early childhood development.
Colleagues, friends, all gathered here today, please allow me to start these closing remarks first and foremost by thanking the government of Kenya for hosting this very important milestone conference. The commitment of everyone here today representing government, particularly at technical levels, but also at the highest levels of government, including His Excellency Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, is truly laudable and an example of what we need in terms of leadership and commitment moving forward.
She went on to note the key deliberations reached at the conference.
This past week has seen the following 5 key elements that are central to the early childhood agenda on this continent. First is the launch of the Nurturing Care Framework. While building on existing practices, the framework compels all of us to consider what we must do to ensure that health, nutrition, education, and protection systems, platforms, and delivery mechanisms are better focused on supporting caregivers in giving their children the very best start in life. Second is the exciting initiative of the African Union Commission to develop a new cluster on early childhood development and education, which will add the African Union's strong political voice to the growing call for more and better early childhood development programs, including early childhood education. Third, discussions this week have emphasized the importance of paying special attention to the needs of vulnerable groups of young children and their families, including those affected by violence, conflict, and emergencies. This focus on the vulnerable and the excluded should be central to our vision and our work. We must give the greatest priority to those children most at risk of being excluded so that unequal opportunities in one generation do not lead to unequal outcomes for the next. Fourth, financing has been identified as a key enabler to move the needle on early childhood. Your deliberations have shown that the bulk of the resources needed to deliver on the Sustainable Development Goals for young children will need to come from domestic public sources, and there is no ambiguity in this key message. Your conversations on the partnerships required to meet early childhood obligations have been instrumental. We all have a role in this regard. Governments to take the lead and dedicate commensurate resources, financial and human. Donors, development and humanitarian partners to provide catalytic funding and equally important technical support and advice to countries. Parents to enable a nurturing, caring, loving environment for their children and continue to demand for more and better services. Academia to keep producing high-quality analysis and evidence to inform the scale-up of programs. And the private sector to provide an enabling environment for early childhood development within its workplace and continue to call for investment in young children as this makes sense for business, for our economies, and for our societies. But we're gathered here today.
She had a special message for the civil society, which she noted played the most critical role in early childhood development delivery.
But we're gathered here today because of one group of actors that is central: civil society. It is often you, those of you who are here from civil society, who are delivering to communities most in need. It is you who most often innovate, advocate, and agitate for the rights of the most vulnerable. I would urge you to keep on doing just that and not to step aside at any point in time. Taking a lesson from our inspiring...
She noted that the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals was dependent on early childhood development.
The Sustainable Development Goals are dependent on a robust early childhood development agenda, and those relating to eradication of hunger, ensuring healthy and nutritious lives, providing quality education and protection for all, and achieving peace and justice are particularly at risk if we do not deliver for young children.
Nazi Kivuta, First Lady Makueni County, and the Chair County First Ladies Association reiterated the First Lady's commitment to the early childhood development course.
I want to emphasize, or rather confirm, our commitment as the County First Ladies that we want to take this one on as champions. Because we know where we sit, we can make a difference, because we are the spouses of the people who lead the counties. And being spouses of the people who lead the counties, and also mothers, which is very important, we have the children at heart. They are here. We want to promise that from today onward, we are going to be chief advocates for our little children.
As the conference comes to a close, one thing is clear: that children are at the center of our existence.
In the pre-colonial era, the children were central to life.
And the need to stand up for them.
It's just too hard and walk away to turn our backs on children. We can't do that because of who we are and the responsibilities that we have accepted.
Every nation must invest in its future, and it sure does make every economic sense to invest in the children. After all, they are the future.
Various heads of professional bodies in the country and members of the Center for Corporate Governance drawn from the private and public sector today convened at the Safari Park Hotel in Nairobi to discuss the various barriers that hinder the implementation of corporate governance in various organizations. Our reporter Daisy Ombo attended the forum, and here is the report.
When it comes to matters of governance, the action is always in the boardroom.
The stakeholders led by Dr. Habil Olaka, the Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya Bankers Association, stated that the banking industry is a unique sector in matters implementing corporate governance, as integrity is a key value that is looked at when recruiting.
And on this, the temptation is normally to think that they are not any different. But in reality, they actually are different. Banks are different from the other corporations, and especially vis-a-vis the requirement for corporate governance. And that's why I said in the beginning that the banking sector is possibly one of the sectors that is most heavily regulated amongst the sectors in the economy. And how does the regulatory entity assure integrity in the system? One is there is a very strict fit and proper assessment of the executive of the central bank. Senior management in the banking sector have got to go through a very strict fit and proper test from the regulator before they are allowed to take the positions.
A professional is one.
The Media Council of Kenya was well represented by its Chief Executive Officer, David Omoyo, who pointed out that the media is the mirror of the society and is tasked with exposing bad governance, but the key challenge in this is the ownership of media houses.
Media also has a role in exposing bad governance, including on issues of corruption, human rights, and access to justice in a manner that promotes dialogue and governance-related issues. We do this by having sessions with the media managers. The challenge we have is where we have media owned by political or commercial interests.
Continuous professional development.
In attendance was the Head of Technical Services, Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, Cliff Nyandoro, who stated that the role of professional bodies in impending corporate governance is to enforce ethical conduct and good governance among their members.
As professional bodies, we seek to enforce ethical conduct and the proper governance amongst our members. But at the end of it all, it is the value systems in us as individuals, it is the principles that we espouse that count most. It is what is in us. It is what is inherent in us as individuals that counts most insofar as integrity is concerned.
We are striving to do the right thing as a legacy for this nation.
He continued to emphasize that professional bodies should uphold values while serving their clients as well as protecting their interests because that is in their mandate in serving them.
Once you become a professional, you stop being an individual entity and you become a public good. And you start offering service to the public. How do you offer that service? At the back of your mind, ensuring that you are protecting the public interest, that you are meeting the expectations of the people that you are serving. And that is why we seek, therefore, to say that a professional must be at the forefront of ensuring that we conduct our affairs in a manner that portrays good values that we must uphold at all times.
As a way of developing countries leapfrogging,
corporate governance is a key pillar in the success of any organization, and all must seek to uphold despite the myriad of challenges they face. For Brand Plus TV Business News, I am Daisy Wambua.
We need to have economic, cultural, and political integration as Kenya.
Now on to matters tourism. Relevant stakeholders in the tourism sector, including hotels and travel agencies, today converged at the Two Rivers Mall for Africa Tourism and Travel Fair with the ideal holiday packages targeting the high-end market in the country. Take a look. Tour and travel is getting more and more differentiated, meeting specific customer needs. It is for this reason that Vincent Ngatia, Managing Director Design Initiative Limited, put together the fair to cater to the travel needs of the high-end Nairobi market.
This is the inaugural Africa Tourism and Travel Fair 2018. It's the first of this event in this area, especially in the upmarket of targeting the UN, the patrons of Runda, Kiambu, and the lower Kabetes. And we thought that they needed an event of this kind, a quality event that can give them an opportunity, accessibility for them when they want to go out and meet, book for holidays or do business. It's easy because they patronage a lot the tourists. This event it's in two folds. One fold is it's creating awareness to patrons who have never heard about. They only believe going for tourism or holidays is going to upcountry. But this is going to help in growing the numbers, especially to market the other side of tourism in this country. Especially, if you see, we have a lot of people from Lodwar exhibiting with us. The counties like Samburu County, and we are creating awareness to people that you don't just have to go to Mombasa. We have also other good properties in this country.
The Cradle Tented Camp and Lodge, among the key exhibitors, were present and having one goal: to demystify the stereotype about northern Kenya by offering its guests a luxurious holiday experience.
Turkana County has several airstrips, one of them being Lokichogio. There's another one in Kakuma, but the busiest one is Lodwar, where nearly all the LCCs land there at an average frequency of 3 flights every morning per day. The reason why we decided to come up with this facility in Lodwar, and Lodwar is not a desert, though it is a semi-arid area, is because Lodwar is becoming a MICE hub. By MICE I mean meetings, incentives, conventions and exhibition. It's becoming a MICE area in North Rift. So nearly all the NGOs that support livelihoods in Turkana County hold their conferences and activities in Lodwar. Lodwar being like the capital of Turkana County. So with the Cradle Tented Camp being there, it is advantageous to us, being the best facility in Turkana County. We are taking advantage of that and offering the best of the best in that county. And that is why we are there.
For the convenience of the traveler, travel agencies are beginning to liaise with other services providers in the tours and travel sector to streamline the system and ease the experience for the consumers. This is according to Deepak Singh, marketing manager Sat Guru.
Travel agent will give you only air tickets, so then person have to go hotels. If he have to go hotels, then this kind of distribution not feel good. So that's why every travel agent provide end-to-end services. They have to do tie-up with hotels, tie-up with airlines, tie-up with everything, like even transport also, like cabs and all these things. If we are a corporate management company, so we have a very good database from corporates, the one who wants to go. Even we are doing retail promotion as well. As I told you, our prices are very cheap. We are providing end-to-end service basically, like air tickets, we are providing airport transfer, hotels, everything.
Eve Karito, Communication Assistant, Kenya Association of Travel Agents, noted that such fairs bring together different service providers in the tourism sector. This, she says, is one of the fastest and surest ways to grow the industry.
We at Kata, we partnered with Design Initiative to have this fair so that we have a platform where travel agents, tour operators, tourism stakeholders can come together, network and grow their business. It's more of a networking opportunity for the business people and the clients as well. We know that the travel industry is growing fast and we need to adapt to the changes that are happening. We need to network. It's normal that no one is an island. We need to work together. So we need the hotels, travel agencies, tour operators, airlines to work together in order to boost tourism, as it is one of the top contributors to the Kenya's GDP.
With the holiday season fast approaching, it may be a good time as any to explore your options and try out a new destination. After all, we cannot just rely on foreign tourists to grow our tourism sector. to business news, the only news of its kind this side of the Sahara. Thank you for staying with us. And now let us turn our focus to the manufacturing industry. The Kenya Association of Manufacturers launched a report that seeks to identify cross-cutting constraints to growth, possible solutions, and sector-specific interventions to unlock the manufacturing sector growth potential. The report that features 14 of the key manufacturing sub-sectors that constitute the industry provide a critical submission in the development of policy and strategy for the revival of the manufacturing sector under the Big Four agenda. Our field team was present at the launch, and here is the report.
Speaking during the launch, Kenya Association of Manufacturers Chairman Sachin Gudka stated that the outlook for the sector was positive, but some structural changes need to be made to see the industry achieve its set goals.
I think the outlook is positive. However, there are certain structural things that need to be addressed as a matter of priority. The congestion at the port needs to be addressed. The 100% inspection which is being done by the agencies also needs to be, there needs to be a priority lane for manufacturers so that there are no inordinate delays in clearing cargo and no one is incurring storage and demurrage charges, and people don't run out of raw materials to run their factory, to keep their factories running. The second one is must make sure power cost comes down. The third one is at least remove IDF and RDL for exporters, even if we cannot do it for others. Our plea is incentivize local manufacturing, disincentivize finished goods importation.
Speaking to Job Wanjohi, Head of Policy, Research and Advocacy, Kenya Association of Manufacturers, he pointed out that they're keen to see the industry, which is in the government's Big Four agenda, take its place by contributing 15% of the country's GDP by 2022 against its current 8.4%.
We are working quite extensively to ensure that the manufacturing takes the space under the Big Four agenda. And that's why today tonight we are launching sector deep dive reports. We are launching the sector deep dive reports so that we can ensure that we are responsive policy-wise to what the government wants, because they want us to contribute 15% of the GDP by 2022 as opposed to what we are contributing today, which is starting at 8.4. Encouraging imports.
With competition being among the key challenges the industry is facing in the East Africa region, the association has proposed policies that will ease competition and improve the total export of locally manufactured products in the region, as stated by Job Wanjohi.
One policy to do with the common external tariff. East African community, we enjoy currently what is called the custom union, and so that we can be able to ease the competition that we are facing from the imported goods from China, from India and other developed nations, we are proposing that we have a band, 4 tariff bands, in a way that the highest band is going to start at that 5%, and if it stands at that 5% for the finished goods, then we are likely to see Kenyans or East Africans preferring more of locally manufactured goods rather than going for the imported goods. Also, we are looking at how we can have a tariff differential for value addition from 95 to 25%.
The Kenya Association of Manufacturers remains a key partner to the national government as it sets out to promote the growth and competitiveness of the manufacturing industry. It's therefore imperative to have coordinated actions by the two to secure market access for locally produced goods and services and in turn boost the export sector.
Samsung has raised the bar in customer experience with the opening of its largest retail store in Africa yet. The 700 square feet outlet located at the Two Rivers Mall will house consumer electronics, mobile products, as well as a service center for both products division. Our very own Karari John graced the event and brings us up to speed with the day's happening. Take a look.
Welcome to you all to Samsung Town in Two Rivers. Samsung Kenya today set a new bar in customer experience with its newest and largest store in Africa and the second biggest at Two Rivers Mall, dubbed Samsung Town. It will be offering all their products under one roof. During the event, to celebrate the launch, President and CEO Samsung Electronics Africa, Sang Yon, pointed out that the new store is a store for the future.
Samsung store means experiencing all Samsung products. And the left side we have Samsung, the service center. All the customers who has issues with to repair or software upgrade, they can get service over here. And the ground floor, we have Samsung mobile-only stores. Over there, you can get more Samsung mobile product and accessories. Why the future of a store of the future? We call this a store. So think about the Samsung vision is inspire the world and create the future with technology.
He went ahead to reiterate that Kenyans deserve to experience the future through upcoming technologies in electronics.
So many people are talking about the fourth industrial revolution now. What's the fourth industrial revolution? Many people talking about the Internet of Things, and many people talk about AI. Augmented reality, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence. I believe the Kenya people, Kenya customer deserve to get experience. That's why we call this store is experience for the future. Because your daughter, your son is the future of this country and your people.
And to further cement this belief, the president had some good news for the tech enthusiasts. By 2020, all Samsung products will be connected, making it possible to use your mobile device to control home appliances.
We have all those devices are connected. So by 2020, year 2020, which is 2 years from now, all Samsung product, the TV, mobile and the appliance will be connected. So connected means by using your phone, currently using your phone, you can control the temperature of air condition and the refrigerator, and you can turn and off the washing machine. And TV, same thing. You can turn it off, and all the information you can share with the TV.
The opening up of the Samsung Town brings to 29 the total number of Samsung Experience stores across the country. This shows the resilience of the brick-and-mortar retail model, even in the face of a strong and continually growing e-commerce. Reporting for Bramplus TV, I am Karari John Wambugu.
On that note, let's take a look at how the markets performed today. Here is a summary. Just a summary of how the markets performed, but for more in-depth analysis of the financial markets, tune in Monday morning at 8 a.m. for my next big bet with Brechin Diritu and Karanje Daniel. Now, let's have a look at the weather report. our business news desk tonight. We are calling it a week, but do make sure to tune in Monday, same time, same place. But until then, think business, culture, and lifestyle. Have a good night and do enjoy the rest of your match day.